I don't want Donda version 3. I am so disappointed. I am so pissed. And I just don't understand why you would take such a great template of version 2 and you would completely take everything away that made it so special and throw in these weird and really questionable moments. Of course, we had features just pure missing. We didn't have Young Thug, we didn't have Pusha, we didn't have Jay-Z. Like, and it would be okay if these other listening parties didn't have them included, because now we've heard them with these features and we love these features. So now we've come to expect those features. But you take those parts away and now it's hollow again. It's completely hollow. And while the first listening party was hollow and it was kind of unfinished, the tracks were good enough so that way they could kind of stand on their own. But version 2 of this party was Donda for me. It had all the right pieces, all the right places of features. There was better production choices. It just sounded cleaner. But this sounds so different, and I have to focus on one track in particular, and that's Remote. Remote, for the 2 out of the 3 listening parties, is probably my favorite track on Donda. I absolutely love it because the hook on that is so catchy. I catch myself singing to it like at least 2 to 3 times a day. The first version of Remote, I really enjoy. That's actually probably one of my favorite versions of it because the auto-tune on Kanye's voice just brings this really cool and really catchy sound. It kind of reminds me of if you take the life of Pablo and you put 808s and heartbreak vocals inside of it. It kind of brings those 2 albums together into one song, and it's just it's probably Kanye's catchiest song in a long time. Version 2 adds such a good feature from Young Thug and a good closer from Kid Cudi. Such a good and well-rounded track, and I know a lot of people don't really like that track, but me being an auto-tune nerd, I absolutely love it. It just works. But Donda version 3 of Remote takes Young Thug away and takes Cudi away. There are nice moments in this where you do have a choral part instead. You have kind of a choir into the hook, and it's really nice. It adds more to this hook. But then you throw in a meme from 2 to 3 years ago. If no one knows what this meme is, basically it is a character from, I believe, a German cartoon. It's a Christian cartoon, so I'm assuming that's the reason why. And this slimy, it's basically a sack of skin, and it's Glob Go Gab Galab from 2 to 3 years ago. And it was funny back then, maybe for like a week. But now that it's on a professional studio album, and it ends off Remote, and it just doesn't work at all, it makes me so pissed. I don't understand why you would end such a good track with basically a lift yourself kind of meme. But honestly, this is worse, because with Lift Yourself, at least you created that meme yourself. At least it kind of had a purpose of like being a slap in the face to Drake, who wanted that instrumental. But you take a meme from 2 to 3 years ago that no one cares about and is terribly cringy, and you throw it on to your album called Donda. Like, if we're thinking Donda, are we gonna think of a sack of skin named Glob Go Gab Galab? And there's also the weird appearances from Marilyn Manson, who has multiple sexual assault charges pending. It's alleged. Can't really go that far with it. It's alleged sexual assault charges. And DaBaby, who has had crazy amounts of controversy with homophobia and just really catching himself slipping a lot. So I think with this listening party, he really tried to make it super controversial to get all eyes on this listening party. And I could even see on the screen, there was like a CNN banner. Even though it wasn't CNN, there was a banner around basically the live stream on the screen. And that's just what it kind of reminds me of. That probably tomorrow morning, there is going to be headlines of Kanye West having these two people on stage. We don't know why either. Also, not to mention, why DaBaby is replacing Jay-Z. Like, Kanye and Jay-Z is iconic. It's a moment because it means kind of like a bond reuniting, even though I don't think there's a return to the throne. But it's just a uniting moment that it was so exciting the first two times because it was just like, it seems that Kanye's on the up and up and he's trying to have a redemption. And that's what I thought Donda was going to be. It was going to be a redemption arc for Kanye. That he could be able to come back to the public eye and be respected by the majority of people. But now you've done this. You've taken away Jay-Z. You added DaBaby for some reason, who didn't have a terrible feature. But I just know that it's not for the intended purpose of making the album sound better. It is definitely just to get eyes on the album, on Kanye West, and also not to mention he didn't drop it. And honestly, thank God, because I don't want this version of Donda. If I got the stem player, if I paid $200 and I had this in my hand, and this is the album, Donda version 3, I had on the stem player, what a terrible waste of money. I can't believe that we have downscaled this far after, honestly, you could have took Donda version 2, fine-tuned it a little more, added those extra verses that Kanye had throughout it and these extra little features, and you could have made that into a great album. I would listen to that all the time. I'll always have the files, I guess, and I always will go back to the live stream of Donda version 2. But as of right now, I don't want Donda. Take as much time as you want. I am going to move on. I am not going to care about the next listening party. Because if you're going to do this again, I am not going to care about Donda because I know your intentions are completely off. Because I don't think it's about the music right now anymore. It's about getting the headline and getting yourself back into the public eye in negative ways. So, long story short, keep Donda for like 1 to 2 weeks. Keep it for a month. I don't even care anymore. Just keep it. Fix remote. I will kill you. I will absolutely kill you if you keep Glob Go Gab Galab on my favorite song. If you keep that on remote, I'm not going to stream it. I'm not going to give you money for that garbage. But I had to talk about this live stream because goodness sakes, I am so pissed. I'm going to stop. This is Sonic Spill. Hope you have a great night. Listen to something better.